Hello everybody, my name is Davis and welcome back to another video, and today we're here for another severe weather breakdown. Now we have got so much to talk about today. We've obviously got a hurricane out in the ocean that is set to make landfall at some point. We've got 3 different slate risks of severe weather today, some flash flooding's possible. There's a lot to talk about, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Starting off with the SPC outlook for today, where yes, we do have 3 slate risks of severe weather today. And then we also have 4 marginal risks, which is pretty uncommon as well. So let's go and break down the threats that these bring, starting off with the tornado threat for today. Very low, no tornadoes are currently expected. We have not had a tornado for a few days, actually, which is a good thing. Wind threat, we do have 2 15% risks of damaging winds of 60 miles an hour or higher, so watch out for that. In the brown, you have a 5% chance to see wind gusts of 60 miles an hour or higher. And these are some pretty big areas, that are going to be affected by this, so definitely look out. Hail threat for today, this is actually the biggest concern. We have a 15% hatched risk of hail here. So if you're in the 15% here with the circle, you have a 15% chance to see hail of 2 inches or larger, which can be very damaging and even destructive. If you're in this yellow circle, you have a 15% chance to see hail of 1 inch or larger, which isn't quite as big of a deal, but still, you definitely need to watch out for that. And then in the browns, you have a 5% chance to see hail of 1 inch or larger. But especially McCook and Colby today, you have a 15% chance to see a hail of 2 inches or larger today. So definitely look out for this. This could cause some very destructive storms. Moving on to the window destruction meter. Speaking of destruction, today we are at a moderate risk for window destruction. I debated putting us at a high risk today, but I just figured that I would save that if the hail threat does get upgraded. But as of right now, moderate risk of window destruction because of the damaging winds and the hail that is going to be very large. So look out for that. This applies for anywhere in the slate risks of severe weather. So moving on to tomorrow's SPC outlook, we have another marginal risk of severe weather here, and this extends all the way from the boot of Texas up into Wyoming there. Tornado threat for tomorrow, very low currently. Wind threat, we do have a 5% risk of winds of 60 miles an hour or higher, which is what's driving our marginal risk tomorrow, so look out for that. Moving on to the hail threat for tomorrow, we do have a 5% risk of hail of 1 inch or larger tomorrow as well, so look out for that. More hail could fall in these places that might get some hail today, so yeah, definitely look out. Going into Monday here, we currently have no marginal risks. Isn't that nice? So moving on to the excessive rainfall outlook, we do have a slight risk of flash flooding today. If I was drawing this, I would actually probably put a moderate risk somewhere in here, a very tiny moderate risk, but I would not be surprised if this gets upgraded because we have got a lot of rainfall that's going to be falling here today. We already have flash flood warnings ongoing in some of these areas, so definitely look out if you're in the yellow today. That's a 15% risk to see flash flooding. So, yeah, look out for that. Moving on to tomorrow, we have 2 slight risks of flash flooding. One is up here in the northeast, and then one is here in the central plains. That's, again, if you're in the yellow, the 15% chance of flash flooding tomorrow. So look out. Green is a 5% chance, by the way. That's a marginal risk. And then going into Monday, we have 3 marginal risks. One is down here in the southern plains in the Four Corners states. One is here in the upper eastern Midwest, and one is up here in the northeast. So look out for that. Moving on to the National Hurricane Center. We do have Hurricane Lee, obviously. Tropical Storm Margot is not really expected to do anything. It is expected to turn into a hurricane, but it's not going to make landfall, luckily, it's not looking like, especially on the U.S. But Hurricane Lee here, it's getting kind of confusing, because right now, it is currently a Category 3, but it's expected to go down to a Cat 2, but then go back up to a Cat 4. It never did get as strong as it was expected to. It was expected to get up to 180 mile an hour winds with 220 mile an hour gusts. That never happened. The max was about 165, which did make it a Category 5 hurricane at one point. But Hurricane Lee overall, it's not done things that people were expecting it to do, and it has done things that people weren't expecting it to do. But still, this is not expected. This is not expected to go for Florida, Georgia, or the Carolinas. I know know it may look like that, but it's not. It's expected to go up here to the north and potentially hit the main Canada border here as a high-end tropical storm or a Category 1 hurricane. So look out if you're up there. Eastern Pacific, we do have Tropical Storm Jova that is just weakening so much. At one point, this was a Cat 4. Now it's just turned down to nothing. Central Pacific, Hurricane Jova is here, but it's not expected to hit Hawaii. So we are good to go. Watches, warnings, and advisories. We do have flood watches in effect, which is part of the reason I think that we should get a moderate risk of flash flooding is because it's very early in the morning and we already have flood watches, so definitely look out today. You could definitely see some flooding. Texas here, we do have heat advisories in effect for portions of south central Texas here. I don't remember what the browns are. I feel like I should. I gotta look at. Okay, so the light browns are actually special weather statements that are usually issued for the heat whenever they're next to heat advisories like this. So brown, that's basically a heat advisory, but it's kind of predicting far out that it's going to get hot rather than it's hot right now. We do have excessive heat warnings still in effect here for parts of the desert southwest, so look out, especially in Phoenix today. It could get as hot as 110 degrees, and I mean, we're getting into the fall now. We are in early September. That is meteorological fall, so yeah, it's still going to be hot for quite a while down here. And here near Sacramento, we do have some red flag warnings in effect, so make sure not to be, or San Francisco, sorry, not Sacramento. San Francisco, so definitely make sure if you're under a no burning order, don't be burning anything, obviously. We do have air quality alerts in effect here for southern Wisconsin and a little bit in Colorado, so look out for that. Some poor air quality there. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it for that. So let's go and move on to the final thing today, which is the path for Lee. So like I said earlier, Category 3 Hurricane Lee is just kind of chilling out here. Around here, it was a Category 5, or would that be like right here? Or no, it'd be this one. I don't know when it was a Cat 5, but at one point it was. Just trust me on that. Yeah, there it is. Category 5 Hurricane Lee. That was yesterday, but now it is already down to a Cat 3, and it is expected to get weaker and weaker, but then intensify back to a Category 4, and then get weaker again back down to a 3. It's taken a bumpy ride here, but like I said, it is expected to go up north and eventually make landfall somewhere near the border of Canada and the U.S. So really anywhere here in New Hampshire, I can't speak, Rhode Island, Maine, New York, definitely look out in all these areas for this hurricane that could make landfall on you guys. The Bermuda, definitely be looking out too. This thing could cause serious effect for you guys because by the time it reaches you, it's still going to be a Category 3 or 2 hurricane, so definitely look out there. I'd say honestly at this point probably evacuate out of there. I don't know if they've put up evacuation orders for that though, so I'm not gonna go too hard on that because I don't know. I don't want to I don't want to get in any trouble. But yeah, definitely look out here in the Bermuda. But that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.